Brosnan's tenure as Bond lasted almost a decade, with his debut as the character airing tonight on ITV. However, his first appearance in 1995's GoldenEye saw a production plagued with problems, and too much fame for the star to handle in its aftermath. On the James Bond A to Z podcast, hosts Tom Butler, Tom Wheatley and Brendan Duffy explored the on-set problems and incredible audience reaction to GoldenEye. Brosnan had largely television roles up until being cast as Bond, with many at the time not quite understanding why he had been cast at all. At the same time, the production company MGM was allegedly experiencing financial options, with the James Bond A to Z podcast hosts claiming the studio likely went with the cheapest option to cast as the lead. A press conference was held back in 1994, more than a year before the film was due to be released, with reporters from across the world coming to meet and discover more about the next James Bond. In an interview with The Rake, Brosnan called this event a baptism by fire. He explained he was nervous not just for the press but to become a character he had first seen at the age of 10 when Sean Connery brought the figure to the screen for the first time. Brosnan was inducted into the film world through the press conference and 3 hours of interviews following it. After the media grilling, he retreated to his hotel room and began speaking out loud to his late wife Cassandra Harris, who had died in 1991. He reportedly laid down on his bed asking, "What the hell have I said yes to? Oh God, Cassie, are you up there? Can you hear me? Am I supposed to feel this SHY?" The next morning the star went out to a cafe and started reading the newspapers that now reported every single part of his life. Quickly Brosnan began to get recognized as the infamous spy wherever he went. Unable to escape the fame, Brosnan had luckily already signed on to his next film Robinson Crusoe, which was filming in Papua New Guinea. Brosnan escaped to the island, believing he would get some respite from his Bond film whilst shooting the next movie. However, his peace would be incredibly short-lived. 2 days later the star went jogging, only to have some children spot him and begin yelling, "James Bond! James Bond! Don't miss!" The filming of GoldenEye itself was plagued with dilemmas, not to mention MGM's continuing financial issues. Before filming could even start, Brosnan found himself injured. He had sliced his pinky finger and had his hand in a splint for weeks. Thankfully the splint was removed on the morning GoldenEye shooting started. However, the scene being shot that day required Brosnan to hold a gun. Having been in a splint for weeks, the actor found he had very little movement in his hand and couldn't quite get his pinky to wrap around the prop gun. After a few failed takes, Brosnan stuck his finger to the gun with a plaster to keep it in place for the scene. After just a week of filming, a press conference was called with hundreds of reporters from across the globe in attendance. Robbie Coltrane, most well known for his role of Hagrid in the Harry Potter franchise, also appeared in the movie as ex-KGB officer Valentin Dmitrovich Zukovsky. At the press conference Coltrane reportedly joked, "At my age of 44 I thought my chances of being a Bond girl were slim, but I must say Pierce is an absolute gent in our shower scene." GoldenEye airs tonight on ITV at 8 p.m.